Inequality has become one of the biggest problems in the US today, both politically and economically. We see this because the top 1% of incomes basically have skyrocketed their incomes by over 300% over the past 40 years, whereas people making in the middle 60% of incomes in terms of the American population have only increased their incomes by about 73% over the past 40 years. Now, economists are generally okay with inequality if the middle 80% of incomes have basically increased their living standards over time. So if we cut off the top 10% and cut off the top bottom percent of incomes, as long as those people in the middle 80% are doing better today than they were 40 years ago, then that should be okay, according to economists. So this graph compares people who make the 95th percentile of income. So this is people whose incomes rank them in the top 5% of everyone nationwide. And we compare them with people whose incomes rank them in the median nationwide, and then we rank them with people whose incomes are in the bottom 20th percentile, so the bottom 20% of incomes nationwide. And what we basically see is that these incomes, their real income growth, diverged massively after 1973, where from 1973, which was pretty much at parity at about 100%, where people whose incomes were in the top 5%, their incomes grew by over 100% since then, from 1980 to 2020. Whereas people who made the median income, well, their real incomes have only grown about 50% or so from 1973. Whereas the people who were in the bottom 20%, their incomes only grew by 25% from 1973 to 2020. So when economists say that we should not care about inequality as long as the middle chunk is doing okay, when they say that we should chop off the people in the top and bottom of the income scales, that's not necessarily the right thing to do right now, because as this graph shows, that's where the biggest problems reside, where the people up top are making so much money that they are now using that money to lobby politicians to change corporate wage laws, and the people in the bottom are struggling to afford their basic necessities. And more importantly, the people who are struggling, that population is expanding. It's not just the bottom 10% anymore that's struggling, it's the bottom 20%. And that population is growing.